When buying a golf simulator, it's important to understand your space requirements to achieve the end result you desire. One of the trickiest parts about planning an indoor golf simulator is figuring out what size screen or enclosure you need to get that perfect fit. There are many different options to make a simulator work in your desired location, but you'll need to measure and explore what kind of enclosure will work best for your space. Carl's Place offers many different standard sizes of enclosures, including virtually unlimited custom sizes for your space. It's very important to note that the standard sizes listed on our website are not the exact outer dimensions of the full enclosure. For example, our 8x8 by 5 foot enclosure overall height and width is 100 by 100 inches, not 96 by 96 inches. Consult our DIY simulator enclosure kit specifications for detailed sizing on each enclosure. The first and probably most important measurement is the height of your room. Grab your longest club, most likely your driver, and try taking a few practice swings in the room you plan on building your sim in. You can be confident that you'll have enough room if you can easily take a full swing without modifying how you swing your club. Make sure to take into account the installation of your enclosure. The less buffer space you have between the enclosure and the ceiling, the more difficult it will be to install your enclosure in its final position. We find that a room height of at least 9 feet is needed for most golfers to comfortably golf indoors, though we offer sizes short enough to fit within 8-foot ceilings. It's important to note that if you plan on using launch monitors like the Unicore QED or IXO, you'll need to take into account the height requirements of the launch monitors. The QED needs to be placed 9 to 10.5 feet from the ground, and the IXO 9 to 10 feet. Keep in mind that the sensor on these monitors is down about 4.5 inches from where the unit mounts to the ceiling. The second factor that you need to consider is the depth of your room. The ideal depth will not only include the space from the tee to the impact screen, but also buffer space behind the screen and room to safely swing. To start, we recommend about 12 to 16 inches of space between the impact screen and any wall or hard surface behind it. Then, it's a best practice to place your tee 10 to 15 feet away from the impact screen. Finally, make sure you have enough room behind the tee to comfortably swing. This results in an ideal room depth of at least 15 feet total. It's also important to keep in mind on what launch monitor you plan on purchasing for your setup. Radar-based launch monitors like TrackMan, the Mevo Plus, and the Garmin R10 require the device to be set up a distance of 6 to 8 feet for the Garmin and a minimum of 7 to 8 feet for the Mevo Plus behind the hitting area. You should also note that these radar launch monitors tend to perform best the greater the distance between the tee and the impact screen. The width of your room is also important when picking a golf enclosure. If you plan on having both right and left-handed golfers using the enclosure, you'll likely need more width than you would a single golfer. Generally, we recommend 9 to 10 feet of space at a minimum. But ultimately, you'll need to make sure that you have enough room to swing on either side of the tee without hitting a wall. 12 to 15 feet is ideal for accommodating both left and right-handed users. You'll also want to make sure that you have a couple inches of buffer space from the sides of the enclosure to protect your walls from receiving a dent. If you are going for a built-in look to your setup, we recommend adding padding to protect your drywall. If you've done your measuring and you don't see a standard size that is perfect for your space, Carl's Place happily customizes screens and enclosures down to the inch. Following these recommendations is the best way to be confident that your simulator will perform in your location the way you expect it to, and it will help you make other decisions on what launch monitor or projector will work best for your setup. Be sure to reach out in the comments below if you have any questions with space requirements for your enclosure. And remember to subscribe to our channel for more content on building your own golf simulator setup.